As we age, our facial structure gently changes. Cheeks soften, jawlines blur, and sometimes we look in the mirror and feel like something's missing. But what if we told you the right haircut could bring back harmony to your features without surgery, makeup, or tricks? After 50, many women struggle with how to keep their face looking lifted and fresh. And here's the truth: your haircut plays a bigger role than you think. The wrong style can drag your features down, but the right one, it can instantly frame your face, highlight your eyes, and make your whole look feel lighter, brighter, more you. In this video, we'll show you 4 haircut styles designed to make your face look more refined, youthful, and elegant. Not by hiding your age, but by embracing your beauty with intention. No filters, no pressure to look 30 again. Just thoughtful changes that bring out the best in the face and the woman it belongs to. Cut 1. Long layers, starting at the cheek. The gentle slimming effect. One of the simplest, most effective ways to make your face appear slimmer and more lifted is through the thanks magic of long layers that begin at the cheekbone. It sounds subtle, and it is. But subtle doesn't mean small. In fact, this tiny shift in where your layers start can completely transform how your features are framed. Let's break it down. As we age, many women notice that their faces begin to lose definition. The jawline becomes softer, the cheeks fuller or rounder, and everything feels just a little heavier. But that doesn't mean you need drastic changes. You simply need a haircut that knows how to guide the eye. When you place your first layers right around the cheekbone, rather than lower down at the jaw or shoulder, you create movement and direction. Your hair begins to sweep outward and downward, pulling the focus gently away from any fullness in the lower face and lifting the overall shape. This works especially well for women with round, oval, or heart-shaped faces. The layers add visual contouring, like a soft shadow that brings back structure without needing makeup. Take Diana, 58, who had worn the same blunt shoulder-length cut for years. She didn't dislike her look, but she often felt like her face looked wide and her features got lost. One afternoon, her stylist suggested subtle long layers starting at the cheek and tapering down. The difference was immediate. "I still looked like me, she said. But the proportions finally felt right. My cheeks didn't feel heavy, my smile looked sharper, and my eyes popped. Another advantage: movement. Long cheek starting layers bring motion to your hairstyle. They flutter when you turn your head. They soften strong angles. They make your entire look feel airy, flowing, and feminine. Especially for women with medium to long hair, this type of layering adds dimension without sacrificing length. It's also extremely forgiving for aging hair. As strands become finer or thinner, harsh cuts tend to exaggerate the problem. But long layers create soft transitions, which help hide uneven texture, thinning ends, or gray growth. And when styled with a gentle inward curl or just blown out naturally, they frame the face like a painter's brushstroke. What's more, this cut is low maintenance. You don't need salon visits every 4 weeks. The layers grow out gracefully. They don't require complex styling either. Just a round brush and a little lift at the roots is enough to recreate the effect. If you want a look that feels both natural and polished, refined but not rigid, this is your cut. It doesn't scream, "I changed my whole look." It whispers, "I know what flatters me." And that kind of confidence, it shows. It's not about looking 20 again. It's about looking like the very best version of yourself. Cut 2. The soft graduated bob. Elegance that elevates the jawline. There's a reason the soft graduated bob keeps making a comeback. It's one of the few cuts that manages to be timeless, elegant, and gently sculpting all at once, especially for women over 50 who want a refined look without sacrificing ease or personality. So what exactly is a graduated bob? Imagine a bob haircut that's slightly shorter in the back and gradually longer toward the front, typically ending somewhere around the chin or just below. Now soften those lines, not too sharp, not too dramatic, and you've got the soft graduated bob, a shape that lifts, slims, and defines without feeling harsh or forced. This cut is a gift for women whose jawlines have softened with time. As we age, that strong angle under the ears begins to blur. The soft, graduated bob restores structure by drawing a clean, lifting diagonal line that runs from the nape toward the chin. The result: the face looks more angular, elegant, and gently elevated. It's also a cut that works beautifully with natural hair texture, whether straight, wavy, or slightly curly. It adds a sense of movement and intention to hair that might otherwise hang flat. And for women with thinner or finer hair, the subtle graduation in the back can add volume at the crown, creating a soft lift that visually raises the entire facial profile. Take Marianne, 62, who had always worn her hair long but found that it began to weigh her down, literally and emotionally. "It just sat there," she said. "My face felt buried in it, and I always looked tired in photos." After a gentle nudge from her granddaughter, she tried the soft, graduated bob with a light inward curve toward her chin. The transformation was stunning. Her face appeared slimmer. Her neck looked longer. And most of all, she felt younger, like the weight of the world, and her hair, had finally lifted. The soft, graduated bob is not a loud haircut. It doesn't scream rebellion or make you look like someone else. Instead, it whispers elegance. It creates an impression that says, "This woman knows herself. She's comfortable. She's graceful. She doesn't need trends. She sets her own tone." What makes this cut especially senior-friendly is how it requires very little styling to look intentional. The natural graduation gives the illusion of structure, even on days when you don't feel like blow-drying. A quick finger tousle and a touch of leave-in cream, and you're good to go. It's a low-effort, high-impact style, exactly what many women in their 50s and 60s are seeking. And perhaps most important of all, it brings attention to your face, especially the jawline and smile. It gently frames your features, draws attention to your posture, and makes you feel more visible, not flashy, just seen. In a world that sometimes tells older women to fade quietly, a soft, graduated bob says, "No, I'm still here, I'm still becoming." And that presence, rooted in quiet self-assurance, is the most powerful beauty of all. Cut 3. Side-swept bangs, the instant softener for mature faces. When it comes to creating a soft, lifted look for mature faces, few cuts work magic as quickly and effortlessly as side-swept bangs. They're not flashy, and they don't scream for attention, but what they do is powerful. They frame the face, draw the eyes upward, and give an immediate sense of balance, especially for women who feel like their features have become heavier or less defined with age. Let's be clear, bangs are often misunderstood. Some women avoid them altogether, thinking they're too young or too hard to style. Others remember the thick, blunt bangs of their childhood and wince at the idea of going back. But side-swept bangs? They're a completely different story. What makes them so flattering is how they gently cut across the face on a diagonal, breaking up wide foreheads, softening harsh lines, and redirecting attention toward the eyes and cheekbones. For women over 50, this is exactly where the magic happens. Over time, many women begin to feel like their faces pull downward. As gravity and age take their natural course, side-swept bangs visually lift the center of the face, creating the illusion of higher cheekbones and a more alert, energized look. Take Ellen, 60, a retired teacher who hadn't changed her hairstyle since her mid-40s. She was hesitant about bangs, worried they'd feel juvenile or high-maintenance, but her stylist suggested a soft, side-swept version that started at the arch of her brow and tapered out toward her temple. "I couldn't believe the difference," Ellen said. "It didn't feel like a dramatic haircut, but suddenly, my face looked brighter, my eyes more open, even my posture changed." That's the real beauty of a well-placed bang. It's not about hiding, it's about highlighting. Especially for women who may be concerned about fine lines, forehead creases, or thinning brows. Side-swept bangs act like a soft focus filter that blurs gently rather than conceals. They also play beautifully with a variety of lengths and styles. Whether your hair is in a bob, a lob, or shoulder-length layers, side-swept bangs integrate seamlessly. They don't require the commitment of a full fringe, but still give structure to your look. Plus, they grow out gracefully. No awkward phases, no dramatic reshaping needed. From a styling perspective, they're incredibly forgiving. A quick blow-dry, or even letting them air-dry and brushing them sideways with your fingers, is often enough. And with a bit of texture or wave, they bring a natural softness that echoes the gentleness of mature beauty. For women in their 50s and beyond, this is the kind of haircut that feels like you, but lighter. Not younger, not hidden, just softer, brighter, more present. And perhaps that's the most powerful kind of glow. The one that comes not from transformation, but from refinement. Cut 4. The textured pixie, bold, soft, and beautifully uncomplicated. There's something incredibly liberating about short hair, especially when it's done right. And for many women over 50, the textured pixie cut isn't just a hairstyle, it's a declaration of confidence, of freedom, of finally being done with hiding behind hair, and instead letting the face take center stage. But don't be mistaken. The textured pixie isn't harsh or masculine. Not when it's crafted with care. In fact, the right pixie is soft, elegant, and surprisingly flattering, especially for mature faces looking to regain a sense of lift and lightness. What makes the textured pixie different from the traditional one is its movement. Instead of stiff, cropped lines, it's full of layers, short, feathered, piecey textures that dance around the face and draw attention upward. That upward flow is the key. It visually lifts the cheekbones, highlights the eyes, and reveals the neck and jawline in the most flattering way. This cut works wonders for women who have begun to feel like their face is weighing down or losing definition. With the bulk of the hair off the neck and ears, the bone structure returns to the spotlight. And with the right styling, just a bit of mousse or texturizing spray, the result is vibrant, light, and dynamic. Consider Helena, 65, who once described herself as drowning in her own hair. Her long waves, once her signature, had become more of a chore than a joy. "I felt like I was hiding," she said, "like my hair was swallowing my energy." After seeing a photo of Judi Dench's pixie cut, Helena decided to go for it, asking for a textured version that softened her features. The result? She looked stunning. But more than that, she said, "I looked like I had finally arrived in my own skin." That's the power of the textured pixie. It's not just flattering, it's liberating. It's also surprisingly low maintenance. Unlike what some believe, you don't need to visit the salon every 2 weeks. The texture allows for forgiving growth. It's not about precision, it's about shape, softness, and energy. Another beauty of this cut, it works incredibly well with silver, gray, or salt and pepper hair. The texture actually enhances natural variation in tone. The result is effortless chic, a woman who owns her look with grace and ease. Of course, going short is a personal decision, and it's not for everyone. But if your heart has been whispering for something bold, something light, something unapologetically you, the textured pixie may be the exact answer your mirror's been waiting for. Because sometimes, the most beautiful lift doesn't come from scissors or style. It comes from the courage to say, "This is me." As we move through life, our beauty evolves, and so should the way we frame it. Each of the 4 cuts we explored today isn't just about hair. It's about softening what time has sharpened and lifting what gravity has touched, with grace and intention. Whether it's the gentle sweep of side bangs, the elegance of a bob, or the bold lightness of a pixie, the right haircut can do more than change your appearance. It can shift how you carry yourself. Because after 50, beauty isn't about chasing youth. It's about revealing the woman you've become and letting her shine without apology. Choose what feels right. Wear it with confidence. And remember, when your hair reflects your essence, the whole world sees your light more clearly.